I'm going to get right to the reading. Thought control. We all accept from the thought things in the world around us only those which add to our faith and our conviction in the goals that we have set or in ourselves. We will accept from the thought things in the world around us only those which add to our faith and conviction in the goals we have set or in ourselves. All other thought things we reject as being only temporary and lacking final reality. Thus, in the final recesses of our beings, we maintain a place of quiet assurance and contemplation, steadfast always in our knowledge that our faith will become manifest in our lives. It is then we are set to temper our thoughts. It is then we achieve mastery over our fates. Looking forward to that. Our positions are unassailable. We create from within and are never victims of circumstance. Thought control. Equally important in arriving at mental control and faith is our ability to slow down the helter-skelter streams of thoughts that flow across our consciousness. Helter-skelter would mean something that is tumultuous, that goes up and down. You really don't know what's going on with it, but you try to stay focused in reference to it being like a roller coaster ride. It is the flittering, haphazard conscious mind, never unified in purpose, always prompting the subconscious mind in dozens of different directions that produces chaos in our surrounding world. We must harness the conscious mind, control it, guide it, and the path we would follow. Daily, just prior to your meditation period, you must practice the process of slowing your thought stream. Seek a place of quiet and solitude. Find a comfortable, restful seat. Relax every muscle. Start at the top of your head and move downward over your whole body. Relax the muscles around your eyes and forehead, your cheek muscles in your face, lip and jaw muscles, the muscles in your neck. Let your head low. Make it slowly or move it slowly around in a circle on your relaxed neck. Relax the muscles in your shoulders and your arms and your hands. Let your hands hang loosely. Relax your stomach muscles, your abdomen. Carefully relax all the muscles in your back, your legs, your calves. Feel the weight of your legs. Rest like this for several minutes and know that you are fully relaxed. Then concentrate on your breathing. Gradually begin to slow the taking of each breath. Make each inhalation a little deeper. Breathe comfortably and peacefully, pausing at the end of each inhalation and exhalation, but do not pause so long that you begin gasping. Slowly, your respiration will reduce itself until your breathing is scarcely noticeable. Slowly, there will come over you a sense of peacefulness, drowsiness, security, and comfort. Your mind will glide like a boat into a calm lagoon of unruffled and placid waters, which are gentle, and you will feel a sense of contentment. It is quiet there, so quiet that you can hear the voices of the soul, your soul. Think very slowly. Deliberately watch your thoughts as they cross your consciousness. Hold on to them and examine them, but let them go. Neither accept nor reject them. Notice how each thought follows one upon the other in an endless stream of traffic. Now ask yourself, who is it that observes this? It will come upon you then that it is not you who thinks at all. It is you who observes and decides that only. Who is I? Ask yourself who this observer is that you refer to as I. It is not thought. It is not body. It simply is. Has being, observes, in the contemplative sense, in the contemplative sense in which you feel it now. It is neither past nor present nor future, but simply exists. I am, I observe, I decide. I am, I observe, I decide. I am, I deserve, I observe, I decide. I am, I observe, I decide. Here is your true being. Here is your real self, the unfettered, untrammeled, interior expectator. To find this point of consciousness from which all things and thoughts and moods are a matter of observation is to find the spiritual center of gravity, is to know yourself in all your true freedom and joy. This I, this observer, is the indwelling God, the real self, the personal consciousness that is in all things and all life. To know it truly in all times is to have the consciousness of Jesus, the Christ. Thus, in your daily practice of thought control, when you have slowed the thought stream after relaxation and breath control, turn always to the self that dwells deep within you. Find the point of consciousness from whence all things are but observations. From the point of consciousness from where all things are but observations. Then ask, who is this that observes? Of this point of consciousness did Jesus speak when he said, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all things shall be added unto you. Then ask, who is this that observes? Of course, this point of consciousness did Jesus speak when he said, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all things shall be added unto you. The arrival at this point of consciousness is the attainment of the peace that passes all understanding, and is the position from which all things are possible, without effort, without the exercising of will, but simply through contemplation and choice. These things when we will do, these things then we will do in our 30-day mental diet. We will first reject all negative thoughts and ideas and circumstances and refuse to add them to ourselves. We will entertain only positive thoughts of good and abundance and joy and love and kindness and success. We will daily engage in a period of thought control, which we will engage with the aid of breathing exercises, always aiming at arriving at that point of consciousness where all things and thoughts are a matter of observation. From there, we will engage in our meditations each day. This will prove to be one of the most rewarding times of your life, not only because of the manifestations you meet within the physical world, but also because of the towering sense of peace and strength that will come to you as you grow to know the magnificence that is yours. You will sense the unity of all things, come to understand that nothing is done by man alone, but all things are done by the universal subconscious mind or the mind of God. You will sense the unity of all things, come to understand that nothing is done to man alone, that nothing is done by man alone, that nothing is done by man alone, but all things are done by the universal subconscious mind or the mind of God. You will further see that all of that mind is in you now and all the days to come, and you will understand that you have nothing to do but decide each of the issues of your life. Put your faith and trust in the wisdom and omnipotence of this all-knowing mind. Leave it to God. We are a civilization of people who suffer from a I have to do it complex. We are a civilization of people who suffer from a I have to do it complex. We believe that the responsibility for all things settles on our shoulders. Being materialists, we have great difficulty in analyzing anything except in a material sense, and our problems are largely confined to those of finding jobs, getting better jobs, and making more money. We sense our inadequacy as we set out to beat the world, and this makes us all the more frantic in our rushing around, hurrying back and forth, worrying about this, worrying about that. Though the slogan on America's silver coins, though the slogan on America's silver coin says, "In God we trust," we deny this as we set out to collect as many of these coins as we can. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "Whatever we leave to God, God does and blesses us. The work we choose should be our own. God lets alone. The work we choose should be our own. God lets alone." Perhaps the most difficult thing each of us has to learn is to let go and let God. As long as we keep our problems with us, dwelling on each aspect of them, lending reality to each negative quality we can perceive or construe, we are defeating our own ends. The mighty power of the universal subconscious mind, recognizing our command that we are determined to do things by ourselves, filters into our lives in a tiny trickle over the dam we have built against it. But once you turn your problem over to the universal mind with the request, here you handle it, and the dam is removed, and the torrent flows, and miracles are wrought or created before our very eyes, such as miracles that we can only wonder with awe at how lucky we are, or how beneficent are the circumstances that surround us. Do not dwell on your problems. Never keep any problem in your mind for more than a few minutes at a time. Consider the issues and the possible path or courses of action you might take. If you cannot decide what to do, turn the problem over to the subconscious mind, which is the mind of God, with the sure knowledge that the correct answer will be returned to you. You may return to your problem daily, thinking on its various aspects once again. It may be during one of these periods that the answer will come to you, though just as likely it will come upon you at any moment of the day, all unsuspecting. Whenever the moment comes, you will entertain not the slightest doubt but what the answer is truth. It will burst upon you like a light, and very likely you will chastise yourself for not having been aware of it before. It will suddenly seem so simple. Once you have made your decision, forget about your problems altogether, secure in the knowledge that its execution rests in the most capable hands in the universe. Reaffirm your faith in your goal by meditation, but under no circumstances try to predict the manner in which the subconscious will make it manifest. Reaffirm your faith in your goal by meditation, but under no circumstances try to predict the manner in which the subconscious mind will make it manifest. If you yourself have forecast certain steps that must be accomplished by a certain time, and you find that such steps are not taken, and even opposite or conflicting ones are taken, don't turn craven or having lack of faith and lose your faith. You have turned the execution of your problem or your work over to the wisest intelligence in all creation. It is not your part to tell it what it should do or what it ought to have done in order to get where you both are going. If you really think you would be a better pilot, then there's nothing for you to do but take the helm. I've already did that before. It didn't work. But if, like most of us, you have spent many years at that helm without chart or compass or navigational instruments, only to founder on the rocks and shoals of life, you will have wisely left the helm and the navigation up to one who knows, and not keep trying to tell him where he ought to steer, or saddle yourself with emotional upset and antagonistic thinking when he doesn't steer where you think he ought to. And that is the all-knowing mind. That is the subconscious mind, better known as the super subconscious, or what we call God. All of us are much too likely to predict the way things should happen. And when they fail to follow the patterns of our predictions, we are sure our goals will be denied us. Then we defeat ourselves, going through it right now. That's why I'm making this video, so I can be mindful. So even though I see the wind blowing through these palm trees, that is the energy that makes this happen. That is the activity. That is the all-knowing source. That is the living aspect of what runs things. A man decides to write a book, assuming that his image and faith are clear. He actually sits down and after a period gets the book done. He sends it off to a publisher, and a while later receives the manuscript back with the rejection slip. He can now decide that the book is no good, do no more about it, and thus bring failure upon himself. Or he can entertain a respect for the publisher's decision, look the manuscript over carefully, and decide whether or not it needs rewriting. If he doesn't, and this is a rare case indeed, he should reaffirm his faith, send it off to another publisher, and keep sending it until the book is finally accepted. For accepted it will be if his faith remains true. More likely, however, he will rewrite it after each rejection, for what he has affirmed to the subconscious mind is that he will write a book good enough to be published, and his rejection slips are only part of the means by which he will turn the book into his best effort possible. Faith is actually, in the end, little more than persistence, and a drop of water will wear a rock away if it keeps beating at it endlessly. Nothing stands against repeated effort. Bare feet wear cobblestones away. The soft morning dew, repeated over years, will dissolve iron. He who holds his image clear and true will arrive safely in the harbor, no matter the unsuspected seas or storms he weathers en route. He who holds his image clear, he who holds his image clear and true will arrive safely. Still working at that, me. Still focused on that, me. One who has made many mistakes, me. One who didn't know, me. One who was trying to find the proper path, me. But wherever we go, whatever we do, we must always know that the subconscious mind is our mighty and invisible partner. The subconscious mind is our executive vice president, our crew and staff, advisor, and confessor. We have nothing to do but lean back in our chairs and observe and decide. And the mightiest force in the universe leaps to do our bidding. But we must delegate to our great partner full authority. Still learning that, me. He is the Ways and the Means Committee. His nature is to work secretively. His nature is to work secretively. We cannot second guess him, countermand his various moves. He requires complete trust and confidence, and once he sets about a task we have given him, we must leave everything up to him. Interference at any point he interprets as meaning a new goal. He immediately sets about achieving this new one instead. We must learn to leave him alone, to let go our problem as soon as he has taken them. Once we have learned to do this, we will find that his nature is to wind things up in great time and in the most marvelous manner. Once we have completely given over to him any one of our problems and been witness to a manner in which he solves it, we will never again doubt or disbelieve. Once we have completely given over to him any one of our problems and been witness to the manner in which he solves it, we will never again doubt or disbelieve. 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 Once we have completely given over to him any one of our problems and been witness to the manner in which he solves it, we will never again doubt or disbelieve. Loving this part. Faith versus hope. Had a whole lot of faith. Hope, or should I say differently, had a whole lot of hope, but never the faith. So I'm focusing on this faith piece. This, this, this energy, this invisible force, this form, this power. One of the traps we so often fall into is the confusion of hope and faith. Hope has scarcely any relationship to faith at all, and though many times more desirable than despair, nevertheless is a frail instrument indeed for moving the subconscious mind. Hope is a pessimistic looking at things optimistically. Hope is a querulous whoosh for something better. Hope is a great whoosh for something better. Hope is an idea in reference to the whoosh for something better. Hope says evil is more real than God. Hope says evil is more real than good, with the timid reservation that everything might turn all right anyway. It is no wonder that those who seek to better their lives through hope are very seldom witness to improvements. It is an understandable thing that most of us set about the projects of our lives with hope instead of faith. Hope is a dimly perceived light, now flickering faintly in the darkness, now obscured by the gloom. Hope is wishing. Faith, on the other hand, is a radiant that bathes all things in illumination. Faith is knowing. Because we tend to attach primary importance to the material world, because we fail to perceive the design and purpose of our lives, because we refuse to let go our problems and labor under burdens of tremendous responsibility, it is extremely difficult for us to know, and thus is extremely difficult for us to have faith. Whatever we know to be a fact, we have complete faith in it, whether we understand how it works or not. You throw the lever on a switch with complete faith that the lights in your room will illuminate. Yet the methods by which electricity is picked up in generators, transmitted over lines, distributed to your home, and finally achieves the miracle of light by heating a tiny filament and a vacuum sealed by transparent glass are most probably little known to you. You know that the lights will go on when you throw the switch because you have tried it before and it works. Thus, you have complete faith. Similarly, on the intangible planes of human existence, we need not achieve the full knowledge of why or how everything works and is constructed. We need only try working with spiritual laws, discover that it works, thus come into complete faith through knowing, through knowing, through knowing, through knowing. But dealing with the spiritual and mental forces of the universe is far different than dealing with things of the physical world, where our five senses are constantly giving sharp definition and substance to everything with which we come in contact. We are sure of the physical things we feel, hear, see, smell, and taste. We have complete faith in the reality of their existence. Far less faith do we have in the reality of mind and the great forces of spiritual existence. We hope for them. We timidly experiment with them. But because they do not follow the same pattern of demonstration as the physical world, we will abandon them usually at the first failure. Tomorrow I'm going to focus on mental law. I wanted to say that where I'm currently at right now is just staying focused and thanking the Lord every morning that I'm alive, that I am in the Lord's hands, and to listen for His guidance and direction, to really understand uh, what I'm supposed to be doing, to have faith with works yet unseen, and my faith is what I keep doing, to remain in prayer, to recognize a situation I was thinking about the other day. I was talking to one of my team members, and we were talking about this example with there's a show that used to come on TV called Let's Make a Deal. So quite often, not quite often, but enough times, you would have to pick door number one, door number two, door number three. So let's say you pick a door and it's the wrong door and they play this crazy kind of music, and you would find out that you picked this like ugly duckling in this box. So here's the three doors. Door number one is you will get 10,000 guaranteed today. Door number two is you will get 100,000, but you only have a 50% chance. Door number three is you will get an unlimited and or $1 million, but the probability is zero. Which would you choose? Most people would choose number one. 90% of people would choose number one. Nobody chooses door number three. But the actual answer is door number three. And here's why.